Welcome to Dad Motive. Introduction. We are not doing music.
Yeah, no.
Because the wonderful people at YouTube decided to demonetize us for using non-monetizable music, i.e. royalty-free music.
Yeah, what's up with that, YouTube? Come on,
So,
just humble guys doing a humble job here.
as stubborn dumbasses that we can be sometimes, we are refusing to use any music at all. So this is our introduction to Dad Motive every week for you.
Damn straight.
Our beautiful mugs and a very subtle, almost screw you for taking our music away.
Yeah, and by the way, if anybody follows us on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, if you guys can find us some non-monetizable, royalty-free music that you guys want us to use, send it our way. We'll check it out, and hell, we might use it.
Yes.
So send it to us.
No copyright issues though, because the song we were using was royalty-free. Apparently, supposedly, apparently not, because now we've been demonetized. So, yeah. So if you got anything you want to send our way, we'll give it a listen, and we'll make a selection. And we will. It might be used in one, if not all, of our videos moving forward. But until then, we're going to be firm in the dirt here.
Damn straight.
No music.
Yeah.
Welcome to Dad Motive.
And we'll also give you a shout out for doing our music. Thank you.
Enjoy Dad Motive. Oh, cheers.
Ooh.
Quite the interesting morning.
Yeah.
Dad Motive.
Dad Motive. Woo!
See if we can do this without knocking it over.
And screw that thing.
There we go. Okay, we are eating on camera.
Yeah, it's been an eventful morning. Got us some stuff, right? Evan found his keys. I was chasing a sole suspect around Summerland. Holy hell! This is why I need to exercise.
And it is March 1st.
Yeah.
Technically, we
should
be drawing from the potluck and doing 2 episodes today, one of which being the competition episode. But based on the morning and based on the time frame, because you have a babysitter only until a certain time.
Yeah.
We are going to push it back probably till April 1st.
Yeah, let's do that.
Start fresh, new month, all that stuff. So
I'm sore.
what are we talking about today?
Men's mental health. Speaking of mental health. Men's mental health. This is something I've been looking into for a long time, and men have a lot of mental health issues, whether it be depression or anxiety or even schizophrenia is one. There's a lot of mental health issues out there. Jesus, can't find my words today. Just some relatable facts here for you. 1 million Canadian men every year suffer from a major form of depression. 4,000 Canadians per year take their own lives, and 75% of them being men. That's a lot. That is a ton, man. You imagine how many kids are coming up without dads because they, maybe hard times come around and dad doesn't feel like he's, that's fucking sad, man. Pardon my language, but that's sad. That sucks.
Because nobody takes it seriously. So
yeah,
again, don't want to beat a dead horse, but again, women get that attention.
Yeah,
men don't.
Yeah, that's true. Men are supposed to be the bricks.
And it's yet another example where I struggle with women who complain about equality or complain about oppression or complain about this and that, because at the end of the day, and if you know me, I'm a movie and TV buff. I love all that stuff. So a lot of the examples that I come up with and connect to are examples I see in some of my shows or something like that. It is TV, but it doesn't mean that the message or the example is incredible.
Yeah.
And it's that it's something I touched on in our first episode of why women live longer.
Yeah.
anything happens to a man, it's considered funny, or depending on the situation, a man, well, that's just the way it is,
Yeah.
and everything. And women, not that their problems get solved,
No, not at all.
but women are at least taken seriously.
Yeah.
They've got support groups.
They've had someone hear their
they've-
problem out.
They've got support groups. They've got resources. They've got these things that address postpartum after giving birth, and
Mhm.
address mental health, and address depression, and all this stuff. And a man does it, and there's nothing out there.
You know what we have? A bartender.
Yeah. But then you do that, and then screw the man. He's an alcoholic. And
When really we don't have any other way to
there's
cope.
no way to cope. There's no way. If you're a man and you share your feelings, you're considered weak.
Yeah.
If you're a man and you even address it whatsoever, you're somehow undermining what women go through. That's a weird society thing.
Yeah,
That
then
too,
what,
it's
you'd be chauvinistic, wouldn't you?
yeah,
Like,
so it's a weird thing, and I'm enjoying that all our episodes are tied together here, because it does go back to
like day
the
one.
last episode and the many episodes
Yeah.
prior. It's frustrating that we go through it too. We deal with depression.
Yeah.
We lose our parents, we lose our friends, we lose a child through miscarriage or tragedy, we lose a spouse, we get broken up with, we get cheated on, we get
Yeah.
assaulted, we get raped, we get all these different things, just like women do, and no attention is given to that.
Right.
But women have all the resources.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. Hey, and it's not to say they don't deserve those resources.
Yeah, everybody deserves
But
those
everybody
resources.
does. And to say that a man is weak for sharing his feelings and he doesn't need it because, hey, that's his job, to me, you can't really say that if you're then going to get offended if I say that being in the kitchen is your job
Right.
to a woman.
Right.
You can't really pick and choose in those situations. We either all deserve it or we all don't. But there's no picking and choosing with it, where there shouldn't be anyone.
Right.
So I could rant for a while on that, but
Right. That's the thing, right? It's like I can't count the number of times where, whether it was like somebody that I, sitting in the bar and just like, shoot the shit with or whatever, and you go like, ah man, I'm just feeling down, whatever. I got some shit on my plate right now, and he's like, quit being a pussy. It's like, well, that's kind of a piss poor way to handle the situation, telling somebody not to be a pussy. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. Men have mental health issues because there is no way to cope for them. It's like, my dad was one of those guys. He was one of those guys, don't be a pussy. Just bottle it up and never deal with it. And that sucks, man, when you gotta do that.
oh yeah.
It's like when I became a man, I was like, holy shit, I don't want to do that. No way, I ain't having none of that.
That's how you raise your children too. So
Right?
like within reason, of course, I'm going to teach my son that when he falls down and scrapes himself, don't ask if he's okay,
Mm-hmm.
because then the kid then he's going to start to question whether he is.
Yeah. Tell him to get
Because, oh
up.
my gosh, Daddy, is something wrong with me?
Yeah.
He starts crying and this and that. Hey, you're all good. You're all good.
Yeah,
Get up. Get up. Within reason.
Wipe
But there's
your
some
knees off.
situations, especially as you get older, where you're allowed to feel how you're going to feel.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Everybody's
if
got
you
emotion.
fall down in life or you this or that, absolutely get back up. Don't quit. Keep going. But you're allowed to live in the space of coping with that tragedy and that grief and that failure and that whatever.
Some shit happened, man. Like,
So to say that you're not, or to say that you shouldn't, is just, it's dangerous.
and it's incorrect.
It's incorrect, but it's also dangerous.
Yeah.
It's dangerous to spread that message that either no problem is that bad, or no problem is as bad as a female's.
Yeah, because that's an unfair statement right there.
It is. And again, not to beat the dead horse about women in regards to this conversation. But,
Hey, we are 100% supportive to our wives.
but given that it is dad motive and we are speaking from the perspective of men,
Yeah.
it's skewed. I'll
Yeah.
say.
Yeah, to say the least.
So, but anyway,
You know,
I'll say this, so it's helping my mental health to eat some salsa and a breakfast burrito.
yeah.
Well, and find my keys. So, good way to start my week.
I know. God. We should have switched roles this
And
week.
you got your adrenaline pumping.
God, that was like the most exercise I've had in the last like 3 months. God, dude was huge too. God. He's gonna like see this episode in like 5 years and sue me. You were talking about me on camera after I assaulted that guy.
And that woman.
Yeah, and that woman. Like, go fuck yourself. Of course I'm gonna chase you down. You pushed a 5'0" lady to the ground, dumbass. What's wrong with you? You're 6'3" and 300 pounds.
He's fired up.
I'm angry.
We don't necessarily condone that language on camera, but
Yeah, I apologize.
he's fired up.
I'm very angry. We don't call cops where I come from, and nor do I condone people taking action into their own hands, nor any form of vigilantism. However, you do not hit women.
Preach it.
That guy deserves to get hit real hard, possibly with a baseball bat.
But he doesn't condone vigilantism.
No. No, we're good people around here.
We're good
And it's a
people.
small community, man.
We're good people, but hit him with a baseball bat.
You're damn straight, man. The dude was huge. Like, damn. You know, like, I've been in this town for 10 years now. And this is a small community, man. If I don't know somebody I know knows that person.
That's true.
And, you know, like, and he assaulted 2 of my customers that I work with on a weekly, or that I see on a weekly basis. It's like, these people are not only my customers, but they're my friends. And they're my community family. And it, like, I literally just went and bought a coffee. Literally threw my coffee and my keys down on the counter and started chasing this thing. Oh, God, man. People. It's all over a mask, too. I get if you're, you know, you don't believe in the mask or whatever. Okay, that's fine. But that doesn't mean you should assault people. That doesn't mean you should push women around. Okay, if you think the mask doesn't work, then I'm going right off topic. I'm fired up.
You are fired up. That's okay. Now again, let's rephrase, because to say you don't believe in masks, to say they don't exist, they do exist. To say you don't think that they're effective,
Yes.
is different.
Yes. But as per business regulation, most businesses have to have mask policies in place currently, so they don't get fined, and better yet, so they don't get shut down.
Yep.
In my opinion, that is perfectly fair.
100%. Well,
Right.
we can't have it both ways. So
Right?
Here's the deal. I'm one of those ones that don't think masks work. I think they're ridiculous. I think they're pointless. I think people that wear them simply because somebody in the government tells them to are a bunch of sheep. However, I'm not going to go around assaulting business owners and employees if they ask me to wear one.
Right.
And it's people like that give
People like us a bad name.
more humble anti-maskers a bad name, because now people will lump me
Into that same category.
into that same category.
Which is not fair.
And here's the deal. Choice. I'm a believer in free choice. Okay. United States and Canada. I'm a believer in that freedom. And I'm a believer in that right.
It's our
You have
right.
a choice to go out. I saw something on social media the other day that is 100% correct. I love it. And it was a sign that a business put up that said, masks are not required here.
Mhm.
If you are really that uncomfortable, then maybe you should have stayed home. I 100% am 1,000,000% behind that sentiment. However, I'm a believer in free choice. Let us live our lives. Let fans be back in stadiums for sporting events. Let businesses be open. But with that comes the choice that we all as free people make for ourselves and our businesses. If I want to go out without a mask,
Yeah.
I don't want to be verbally accosted because I'm not wearing one.
Mm.
However, I, in turn, am not going to physically or verbally accost you if you ask me to wear one in your business because you choose to require people to wear masks when they enter your store.
Yeah.
That is your choice, just like it's my choice not to wear one. So both of us need to be on the same page that, you know what, if I want to be around Evan, if I want to do this or that, if I want to go to this sporting event with Evan, then he's not going to wear a mask, and I have to understand that. If I want to go into Home Hardware, or if I want to go to a sporting event
Right.
and everything like that, where businesses are operating and that arena or that store or whatever requires masks because that's their choice because they want to do it that way,
Gotta wear
then
one.
I have to be respectful of the fact that if I want to be there,
Yeah.
I might have to wear a mask.
Right?
We have to, there's no picking or choosing here.
No.
If you believe in free choice, if you believe in that freedom and that right, it goes both ways.
Yeah, absolutely. It's
The whole problem with the situation that I have is the choice was taken out of everybody's hands.
okay. I'll agree with that.
No, people weren't given the choice. We weren't given the choice to whether we should wear masks when customers come in. If we want to be open, we have to.
Yeah.
We weren't given the choice to choose that. I don't like that choice was taken from us. However,
But
I am a believer in choice, and
Yeah.
I'm a believer that if you feel for your business or your store that masks are for the safety of yourselves and the employees and the customers, then fine. Just like I choose not to wear one because I think they don't work, then fine.
Right.
But there's no picking and choosing.
No.
it's
a respect factor.
It's free choice down the middle respect,
Right.
And it goes either way depending on somebody else's choice.
right? It's a respect factor. Pure, plain and simple. It is a pure respect factor.
So-
Okay, I get it.
So you know what? If that guy's watching, excuse the language, but fuck you, because you're giving me
Yeah, and me.
And
I don't
him.
like wearing a mask.
and my brother a bad name.
Yeah.
Because we don't think, or I can't speak to you, but my brother and I don't think masks work. But you're giving us a bad name because you're assaulting people because they asked you to wear one. So, fuck you. Excuse the language, but let's be real.
And you hit a lady, dude.
Yeah.
What's wrong with you?
You want to assault a guy?
Fine, whatever.
Go for it. But
But you better hope that dude don't know how to throw down.
exactly, go for it because what you're going to get in return will likely be the same shit.
Yeah.
But you don't hit a woman.
Yeah, no, man. What's wrong with you? Like, God. Man, this day's off to a bad start. I can't wait to go
Well,
home
this
and
is
just hang
turned
out
from
with my
men's
kids.
mental health into just ranting and raving.
Oh my God.
Men's mental health.
Men's
We're-
mental health.
We're venting.
We're
getting it out.
we're subsiding our feelings through
verbal communication.
Yes, ventilation factors of men. Haha. Some man lingo there. But yeah, you know, like men's mental health. That's some serious shit. Like, can you imagine, like, let's say 14-year-old Timmy. I don't know who 14-year-old Timmy is. You know, 14-year-old Timmy, maybe he doesn't have the best of parents. Maybe he had some tough times coming up as a kid. You know, other kids in school look at him like he's an outcast because maybe his parents. You think he had a choice? No. You think he can rectify the situation? No. You want to know why? Because men's mental health isn't what the system wants you to think it is. It is something actually severe. It is something that actually needs to be taken care of. It is something that we all need to address. Now think about that for a hot second. Anybody who watches this video. 4,000 people in Canada. I can't accrue for the States. It would be much, much larger because they have 10 times the population that we Canadians have. Like, California has the population of all of Canada. That's just for a gist. 4,000 Canadians per year take their lives. 75% of them are men.
One of them in the States, my best friend. Rest in peace, brother.
Right.
Love you. But it's
terrible.
it needs to be addressed and it needs to be talked about. Remove the stigma, and it, in general, men and women, but from the perspective of men, because they don't have the same resources and the same outlets.
Yeah. It just sucks.
I want to choose my words carefully here, but I'm going to make my point nonetheless. Okay, so give me a second. In no way do I condone abuse, alcoholism, or anything like that.
Yeah.
No way do I condone it. And I'm in no way justifying some situations where it happens.
Yeah.
No way justifying it. However, and I don't mean however to then undercut what I just said, but nonetheless, you get my point.
Yeah.
However, when you put men in a box and you put them in a corner and you shut them out from proper mental health, from proper communication, from proper resources, from proper this and that, which path do you really think he's going to go down?
Yeah, agreed.
I'm not condoning it or justifying it, but I am saying that it's baffling to me how shocked the world is when a man is laid off.
Yeah. Oh,
And
God,
for example, and there's so much societal pressure on him to be a provider and a protector for his family, and then he's laid off, and then there's no resources for him to deal with that, so he goes to the bar and he drinks, and he gets angry about being laid off.
Yeah.
Anger mixed with alcohol, and then he comes home, and now he feels like he's out of control. He has no control.
Yeah.
Or he feels like he has no control.
Spiraling
and all of
down.
a sudden something's off at home, and next thing you know, his wife's on the ground with a bloody lip.
Yeah.
No way justifying or excusing that behavior, no matter what you're dealing with.
You don't hit a woman.
There's no excuse if you're depressed or dealing with mental health issues for being an ass.
Yeah. Right.
We're all still human beings. However, don't be shocked. You can't really be shocked if that's what ends up happening, though.
Right. A man
When you shut a man out from those resources, because that's going to go somewhere.
Yeah.
You can't keep it bottled up forever. It's going to go somewhere. So now some are good about putting it into their heavy bag in their garage. Great. Some are good about, grabbing a rifle and hitting the gun range.
Right.
Fine. Other more extremes go on shooting sprees. They beat their wives. They, assault their children. They do these certain things. And again, no justification or excuse, but
Yeah, there's better routes to take.
however, you also, on the other side of the coin, cannot be shocked and dismayed
Yeah.
when you read headlines about Tom Jones in name a city, Florida,
Yeah.
whatever, assaults his wife. You cannot be surprised at that.
Especially when you don't have any outlets for a man to deal with the current situation or feelings that he has currently inside him.
So,
I'm sure you've been there. I've been there, man. Not hitting my wife. Calm down. But I broke my hand punching a trailer once. I was so pissed off. Right? We've all been there as men. We've all punched things and maybe put our fist through drywall, whatever it may be. just because we're so angry and we have nowhere to put that anger. And it's like, you know, like, what do we do? Like, honestly, you know, like, that's why I bought a heavy bag.
Well, those extreme headlines come out, and then the response is all the same. Oh, that's just horrible. If he was really suffering, he should have gotten help. And I'm like, you know what?
What help?
I was like, you know what? Okay, yeah, he could have gone and got help. But
Where?
would anybody have taken him seriously if he did?
Yeah, right. Where are we supposed to get help?
I got laid off, and I'm really struggling emotionally, and I find it hard to get out of bed, and you know, this and that.
Yeah.
Ha! Really?
Yeah. Exactly.
Nobody
right?
would have taken it seriously. So it's not as simple as just I went to get help.
Right.
No excuse for being an ass, and no excuse for doing those deviant criminal things. But there's a better path to do it. But you can't throw these simple solutions out after the fact, and you cannot trivialize it by saying, "Oh my God, that's horrible." Well, what do you expect?
Right. Have you ever been to one of those work offices? Like, been laid off and then gone into like a work office? Oh my God, they're total BS. Like, they want you to like write down how much income you make. It's like, lady, I was just laid off. I'm not making any income. Why do you think I'm here? Like, they're a complete joke. They're supposed to be there to help you, and then you know, apply for a job, and they're like, yeah, we're gonna pay you minimum wage, but we also expect you to have 20 years experience.
Yeah.
It's like, no, that's not the way the world works, man. Throw that right out the window. It's bullshit. It's unfair for men to be put in this situation that we're expected to handle our emotions to the best of our capabilities with no ways of handling them.
Well, think about it. Look at this. Think about the pressures that men are under. Okay. Think about pressures that fathers are under. Men and fathers. Okay. Dad motive. Let's talk from the perspective of fathers here.
Yeah.
Let's look at these pressures. You're under pressure in an ever more expensive world.
Yeah, it's
to
ever
live in.
changing.
An ever changing and ever more expensive world to live in. Rising gas prices, rising housing prices, rising this,
Electricity,
rising that,
food.
everything rising in price. So the cost of living is exponentially going up. Okay. The cost of education is exponentially going up. All these different things. Okay, look at the pressures that men and fathers are under. You are expected, whether you went to school or not, as a husband and a father, whether anybody verbalizes it or not, let's be real, it's the societal pressure to have a job, not just have a job, but have a job that makes enough money.
Yeah, have a good job.
To support a family, to pay for education, to pay a mortgage, to pay these bills, to take your wife on a vacation,
Yeah. Treat her out once a week.
to buy your child ice cream, whatever.
Right.
But also the pressures to, in this ever feminist world, to
Be the best dad.
bend to the female will and constantly apologize for things, even if you didn't do anything wrong.
Right.
The women are always right. Let's compromise, but compromise means that I get my way, but you don't.
Yeah.
Right. All this stuff.
Oh, God.
Look at all these pressures that they've got to deal with. Their wife has a miscarriage. Their wife loses a loved one. Their wife this or that. The man is the rock. He's the support. He's there for her.
Yeah. He's supposed to go to work and then come home and cater.
He's
and
there
then
for
feel
her.
better.
If he comes home from work and he has a cocktail, oh my gosh, you're drinking too much.
Yeah.
But at no point is it offered for a man to get home from work and put his feet up. At no point is it offered for a man to have his cocktail. At no point does somebody come to the father and put their hand on his shoulder and offer their support to him when he lost a child through miscarriage, or a child through tragedy, or his father or his mother-in-law or his whatever. None of it. Look at those pressures, and you're going to tell me that men are not allowed to feel how they feel.
Right.
You're going to tell me that it's shocking when a man snaps.
That loses his shit.
If I were to pull my phone out right now and look at mental health resources, just Google mental health resources. How many, and this is a rhetorical question because I can tell you right now.
Yeah, I'm not
how
even
many
gonna do this. 'Cause
How
I
many
know.
links
I
would
looked it
be
up last night.
How many links would be directed specifically in the title of the web address? The title itself.
You don't even have to add for women.
Yeah, would be for women or have women included in the title
Yeah,
or
the first
something
one
about
that comes up
females
is
or this
for
or that.
women. Guaranteed.
None.
Right?
None for women. All of them for women.
None for men.
And if there is for men, it's on like page 66 of the Google search.
Right.
And who has time to go to 66 pages?
Right? At that point, you just pay the $160 to go see a fucking therapist.
Yeah.
Pardon my language. I'm sorry. I'm still worked up. You know? And this, men's mental health, man. This is no joke. We've all suffered from depression.
I
We've
get
all
riled
felt,
up.
right?
I get riled up. I'm riled up right now. It's ridiculous.
We've all been in that situation where it's like, damn, I'm not making enough money, or damn, I'm not being a good enough spouse, or damn, I'm not being a great father, or damn, I'm not being good to myself. It happens every day. Every day. It's shenanigans. Like, absolute shenanigans. And that's why we have this platform.
It is.
Because you know what? We as dads have to stand together.
And it's why it also riles me up and gets my blood pressure going that nobody has engaged with us yet. I get that it might take time, but it's frustrating because that's the point of building this not only show but this community that we're trying to do too. Because we can be there for each other, we can support each other. Because it's our way of creating resources and help for ourselves, right? And which I'm an advocate for. I don't want to just sit here and bitch and complain and then be shocked when there aren't any resources, right? So within reason, we do need to do things for ourselves here to make things happen, like at any point in life with different things. But it's why I enjoy this show. It's why I would and will enjoy the dad community that is built around it.
Right? And will come with time.
It will come with time, I'm not saying it won't, but it's why I'm hoping that it can start to build.
Yeah.
Because dads are going to need to be there for each other because who else is going to be? I
Right.
love my wife, but she's got her own thing, and I don't want to undermine my wife.
And
She's got her own mental health. She's got her own journey as being a mother and a wife. She's got her own this or that. So
And women have a totally different frame of thought too.
exactly,
You know, like they don't think like we do.
men can light up a cigar and have a whiskey and spend 2 hours talking and feel infinitely better because they were heard.
Right?
Whereas women, they're different, and there's nothing wrong with that. But it's
Okay, here's a valid point for men's mental health. Now, this is gonna sound absolutely ludicrous to some. You ever been hanging out with like a homeboy, and like you barely even need to say 10 words, and you immediately feel better?
yeah,
You've been there, like you guys just crack a brew, pour whiskey, whatever the hell it may be, spark a dart, whatever you're doing. And like you could say 10 words and you just like literally the weight comes off you. It's like, damn, man. It's literally all I needed was just to say my piece, say my part, say your part, say our part. This is not just one person's journey, man. What one dad's gone through is what another dad hasn't.
yeah. So, and it really circles back. So we don't make this a 5-hour rant and rave episode.
Right.
We'll circle back here and we'll close it up. And I wouldn't be doing my due diligence if I didn't make sure it was still recording.
Okay, we're good.
Oh, okay.
But it really does circle back to the stigma around it, where men are not even allowed to communicate
Right.
without being seen as weak and as pussies and as soft and as all this stuff. And so, because believe it or not, the majority of men, won't say all, we're all different, but the majority of men and fathers, all they need, really, ultimately, is that community to where they can spend 1 hour
Yeah.
sharing a drink and shooting the shit.
That's literally it.
And in a space,
A comfortable space.
I hate safe spaces, right? So what's
Yeah.
going on politically in the States with safe cities and safe zones and safe, go get out of here with that shit.
No.
However, when it comes to mental health, it's important to have that safe space where you can share without being judged or ridiculed or called a pussy or weak
Right.
or anything like that. And the
You know what?
majority of men need that 1 hour, half an hour to an hour. That's it. Of
Right.
sharing a cocktail or a cigar or a cigarette if you do that or anything like that, and just either sharing the space at the least, if not talking, sharing stories, communicating, connecting, and then you walk away going, wow, that's a weight off my shoulder, and I'm done. And the majority, not all, the majority of men and fathers, that's all they need. But the problem is the stigma around the mental health in general, but around mental health for men,
Yeah.
where you are weak.
If you cry.
If you cry,
share
you
your
are weak.
feelings.
If you not only suffer from mental health, but if you talk about it,
Right.
and
That's the worst thing for
that's
mental health. too.
ultimately what it circles back to. That is ultimately the big problem.
Right.
Ultimately, resources will come with communication, but ultimately remove the stigma so that men have a place where they feel comfortable being who they are and sharing their emotions and feeling how they're going to feel with each other, with their wives, with whoever. And I promise you, the resources not only come from that, but it gets infinitely better
Yeah.
within 2 hours.
Right. Now, on the topic of safe zone, because I hate that term too. I'm starting a new term right now. This is not a safe zone. This is a judgment-free zone.
There you go.
Judgment-free. So that's what we're doing right now. Judgment-free. You know, we may razz each other all day at work, but we always know it's in good fun.
Oh, 100%.
And we're working in a judgment-free zone. So, you know, if anybody else needs to be in a judgment-free zone, we're here for you. Notedly, we're still not there yet.
I was just about to say, somebody here might say in the middle of it, hey, thanks for sharing. We're not there yet, but thanks for sharing. But
Hey,
I get
get your own catchphrases.
I get
Those
what
are
you're saying.
mine.
Judgment-free zone.
Judgment-free zone, you know, like, I mean, we've all been there as kids. Now I'm just gonna use this to wrap up the fucking show after he can finish up what the hell he's saying. Judgment-free zone, guys. Men's mental health. Let's work on it together, because if we do it together, it's better than working on it alone. Because no one
solves it alone.
and no one can do everything on their own.
No.
There's always going to be someone faster, stronger, smarter than you. I know damn well there was, man. That big dude earlier today, he was faster than me. He was a big guy.
Well, let's continue to
Damn.
be there for our wives and our children too.
Yeah.
So
you know, like,
let's not take ourselves away from them mentally by losing ourselves in a bottle or in abusive situations. Let's not take ourselves away from our wives and children who ultimately need us more than money, more than anything else. By taking our own lives.
they need you more than they need those things.
Let's start to come together here. Engage with us. Let's start that process. Let's start to come together here and create that community so that we can at least do our part, not only for ourselves and each other, but to in some way start to fight the epidemic of suicides and of losing ourselves and each other,
our brothers, our
permanently to the mental health crisis.
Right.
I've lost one major person to it. That's one too many.
Right.
And I'd like to keep it at one. I'd like to go back to 0, but unfortunately, I can't get Cody back. So I'd like to keep it at 1. Let's keep it there for me. If I know you, Caitlin that comes in here, anybody else, let's keep it at 1. Let's start to fight back against this, and the only way to do that is a judgment-free zone and that community to put out those resources for ourselves to create a zone where we can be honest with each other without judgment.
Yeah, man.
And walk away with a fist bump and a we're not there yet, and we'll see you next time, and knowing that you know what, you will see them next time.
Right.
As a result. So it starts from somewhere. Let's start to do that, because unfortunately in today's world, those resources for men aren't just going to start popping up. Right. So we've got to do our part,
our due diligence
for ourselves and the fathers and the men around us to create that community and create that zone, that judgment-free zone ourselves. So let's start it. We're starting it now. Engage with us. Let's go, let's talk, let's do this, because I don't like reading headlines any more than the next person of husbands and fathers who, overdosed or drank themselves to death or killed themselves or this or that because I got laid off, or because, my wife cheated on me, or because, this and that. So let's be there for each other and start to correct this as much as we can.
All right. Judgment-free zone, guys.
So,
and remember, it's never goodbye. It's always I'll see you later.
Dad motive.
Yeah, buddy.
Cheers.